there. I'm so interested in seeing what him and Quinn Ewers do this year. There's been so much hype.
We have a pretty dangerous running back in Blake Corum.
Maryland's gone. Talia Tagovailoa.
Yeah.
A little too backyard football.
Yeah, buddy. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, Sean Spencer. Tar Heel Nation, you already know what it is. One half of that dynamic duo that is Let's Talk Football. And it's Saturday, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
I'm with my guy, host of Restoring the Roar, the team that's going to beat the Buccaneers this weekend.
Here's
Alex
hoping.
What up, Alex?
Not too much, man. Massive week of college football. Like I was telling Sean right before the show starts, we're getting close to those CFP rankings coming out. We're in week 7 now. After week 9 is when they come out. Massive implications this week. We got Oregon, Washington, we got USC, Notre Dame, and many other massive games to look forward to. Ooh. This is a good week of football.
Man, I cannot wait. We have absolutely seen some amazing, you speak about massive come from behind games and craziness just in the couple days before. But now we're going into everything matters. Not that it didn't matter before, but right now is when it really matters. You cannot slip up right now if you really want to be playing towards the very end of the year. Man, let me shoot this to Alec. Alec might be able to hop on for a second.
Yeah, I saw that. That'd be awesome. Get him to talk about that game today.
Oh, we have to. We absolutely have to. But look, ladies and gentlemen, we are glad you are here with us. And hey, I'm happy to see this. I am happy to see this. I'm glad you're here. And you got nothing to hang your head about, Scott.
That was a great game.
Yes, y'all gave them everything they can handle. They played a valiant game and came back against y'all, but y'all, I'm a believer. I was a believer before, but you know.
Yeah, that's the Mizzou's a legit football team. They are very good.
All right, send it to you. Absolutely. Look, I need 3 hours of distraction. Understood.
I need 9 hours of distraction today with all day college football.
Oh, we're in the middle of it. What is good, Anthony? College football Saturday. Let go. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, great. Thanks.
Are they ever, Anthony?
You guys are the best. Whatever. Get out of here. Look, we have to go into some of these games that happened during the week. If you watched the Tuesday show, you saw my guy over here start to break down some of the schedule of games that was going on from Tuesday night all the way to last night. And, it was a number of games. There was a lot of good ones, man. Look, let's jump into it. Tuesday night, Middle Tennessee State gets their first conference win, beating Louisiana Tech 31-23. Valito throws 2 interceptions, also runs for another one. Both these teams have been having struggling seasons. Both of them are on the wrong side of the losing, but of their record. But it's good to see, especially in conference play. You get those conference wins together, and you'll go bowling at the end of the year.
Oh, absolutely. All it takes is 1.5 your games to get to a bowl. Like we said, these teams are struggling to kind of get there, but Middle Tennessee State's gonna have to ramble off a few games here. They're 2-5, so it's gonna be a little bit tougher. They can only lose one more the rest of the way, but Louisiana Tech, they still hold the cards in their hands.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Moving on down the list, Virginia team Liberty remains undefeated, beating 4-1 Jacksonville State. And look, this thing was tied at 10 at the half. Liberty goes up 17-3, but then they get those 14 points late in the game that just separates themselves. We've started to talk about Liberty. Jacksonville State, as we know how well they played. Liberty started getting this conference play. I'm not saying they're going to beat a Georgia, but can we start to say teams need to be watching out for Liberty? Could they be the UTSA of this year?
Yeah, I can get behind that because, I mean, it's not like they're playing slouches. Jacksonville State's been a very good team this year. Beat them pretty soundly. Sam Houston, FIU, okay. Buffalo's decent. Bowling Green, not great, but like this is a team that, in my opinion, maybe not quite ranked based on their schedule, but should be just outside those rankings at 6-0 right now. That's a very impressive record right now.
Absolutely. So shout out to them for continuing to get it done. I love that, a lot of people that are especially they're not from Virginia, haven't really heard as much about Liberty. Me being around this area, I've traveled up and down that road and been to Liberty multiple times, but a couple years ago, a lot of you guys know, Malik Willis really kind of started putting Liberty on the map. Last year, they had some guys, and I just love that the success is continuing. So they're not just this random team. Like they're somebody we're watching out for, and I like that.
One another thing to think about there is their coach last year, Hugh Freeze, is gone. This is year one with a new coach, Hugh Freeze being at Auburn now. So for a new coach to come in and be 6-0, that's impressive.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Got some people over here in the comments. Matt Patton says Cooper DeJean does Cooper DeJean thinks today in Iowa beats Wisconsin 21-14. Ooh,
I'm excited for that game today. That's gonna be a fun. I
like that one. I think the winner of that one might be the winner of that side of the Big Ten.
Yeah,
we shall definitely see. Going on the Tuesday games, got to talk about this, man. Coastal Carolina, App State. I've talked in volumes about App State and how they're on that cusp. We saw what they did to they put up 40 in the fourth against North Carolina a year ago. Look, this game came down to it. App State's defense held Coastal Carolina right towards the end of 24-24 in the ensuing play. They go deep, take it down the field, and you're like, oh my goodness, here it goes. App State's about to take this game. The wide receiver trying to get a couple extra yards, fumbles the ball.
Yeah.
Coastal gets it back and ends up getting down there and getting the field goal. Oh, App State, man. That's a crushing loss, Alex.
Yeah, that blows for them. And I mean, we're talking about these teams trying to get that bowl eligibility. They're both sitting at 3-3 now. So there's a lot on the table left for both of them. Both these quarterbacks played well. I mean, we've got Grayson McCall, who we've talked about quite a bit over the last couple of years here. Yep. But Aguilar for App State also played well. Joey Aguilar, that is. They both threw over 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. They were both solid guys. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, it was. And like Anthony says here, Coastal Carolina, well, both these teams have had a pretty big fall off this year. So,
yes,
this was a get-right game for both of them, and it went in Coastal's favor.
Oh, yeah. And then when you look at a game like this on the schedule, and especially that it's on a Tuesday night, ooh, you're going to have a good Tuesday night because, like you said, they're both right level with each other. Those of you that know, a couple years ago, Grayson McCall gets on the scene as BYU loses to Coastal Carolina that year that he went up toe-to-toe with Zach Wilson. You know, and everybody was like, oh, man, look at Grayson. And like you said, we've talked about him at length over the last couple of years. But yeah, it looks like it has fallen off. But hey, you got players that have gone into the pros. You got, transfers, younger guys, different coaches. A lot of things have changed. So hey, they're doing what they can. But App State, that's one where I'm like, ooh, I had high hopes for y'all.
Yeah, me too. I mean, we saw how they were toe to toe with you guys again. They've played well in a lot of games. It's just they haven't been able to close out games like this, and that's what's killed them.
Yeah, absolutely. Moving on to the Wednesday games, Texas El Paso gets its second win, taking out FIU 27-14. McConnell throws 2 interceptions, and the UTEP defense has 2 takeaways in the fourth quarter to get this W, man. Good for UTEP, man, because it wasn't looking pretty starting 1-5 this year.
Yeah, it's been tough. I mean, we talked earlier, they played Liberty there, but I mean, you look at their schedule the rest of the way, they can still make that run at the bowl game. They got New Mexico State coming to them. They go to Sam Houston, who still hasn't won a game yet. host Western Kentucky, go to Middle Tennessee State, and then they haven't played Liberty yet. They host Liberty to end the season.
Ooh,
So that's
circle that.
That's a winnable schedule the rest of the way, maybe outside of Liberty, but that's a winnable schedule the rest of the way to get bowl eligibility.
Oh yeah, circle that one, ladies and gentlemen, because you just don't know what's going to happen. We mentioned UTSA last year. They go 9-10-0, and then they get beaten like the last game of the regular season. So that could very much be that. Real quick, I do want to shout out. I talked about the quarterback Cade McDonald, who had 262 yards and 2 TDs. But I got to shout out to Kelly Akaharia. Forgive me if I'm butchering your name. AKHARAIYI. 8 catches, 223 yards, and 2 scores in his first collegiate start. I mean, we talked about another guy we're going to mention, Fafita, and how he got one of his first starts. These guys right now, they're just saying, look, just give me an opportunity. And they're showing out. I love that. Yeah,
it's always great to see these young guys get in there and show out right away, because it's guys that, I mean, you're getting your first start now. You've been fighting for 3 months to try and get in there and get your shot, and they give it to you, and then you reward them by balling out. I always love seeing that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So definitely shout out to him. Moving on that Wednesday slate, the New Mexico State Cowboys beat Sam Houston State 27-13. Hey, a couple years ago I talked about it. I talked about it last year. The quarterback for New Mexico State, Diego Pavia, he just continues to impress me. It's almost 300 yards in this game, 2 TDs, but also rushed for over 100 in the touchdown. Alex, man, people need to start watching Diego Pavia, even though he's over at New Mexico State.
He's just, like you said, he's just been getting better and better every year. It'll be interesting to see. He's only a junior. I'm assuming, being at New Mexico State, he'll probably come back. Or, I mean, you never know. Maybe he transfers somewhere else with the transfer portal and everything. Now he's playing well, so he might get some looks from these bigger schools, but he continues to impress week in and week out. He rarely has a bad game, and it's just that steady incline, which is all you want to see from these guys.
Right. And I think what you said was key, that he rarely has a bad game, because if you know New Mexico State, this is not a perennial power, ladies and gentlemen. Matter of fact, most times they're the team that other teams will schedule when they want to get that W.
Yeah.
So, hey, shout out to this guy, man. Over 1,600 yards, 14 TDs, and only 5 interceptions. Look, we're not going to talk about New Mexico State going to the daggone, CFP or anything like that. But we are going to talk about good football, man. And he's got New Mexico State at 4-3. 2 more wins, you're bowl eligible.
Yeah. And I mean, off the top of my head, I can't think of it. But it's been a long, long time since we're sitting at week 7 and New Mexico State has a winning record. It's been a while. So I really like what they're doing with him right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's hopefully they can keep this thing going. We got to move on to the Friday games, in a game that a lot of people might have slept on, but when you look at this, and Alex, I know you know what this kind of game is. Tulane and Memphis. Memphis, man, they came out this thing guns a-blazing, went up 21-10. And incidentally, that's the part where I started watching. And then all of a sudden, it's like Tulane said, wait a minute, we went toe-to-toe and beat USC last year in the bowl game. We're going to put this work on. And they never looked back. They scored 21 unanswered, win the thing 31-21. Man, Tulane, they're reminding us why they're on the radar.
Yeah, I mean, you got guys like Michael Pratt, who played really well last year. He was the one that was leading them as they went toe-to-toe with SC. So he came back and showed why they're 5-1 and why they're a very good football team.
Yep, absolutely. But before that game happened on Friday night, There's so many games this week. I'm just so excited, man. There were the Thursday night games, and I'm glad you reminded me of this because we had to talk about it. First and foremost, SMU gets a W, beating ECU 31-10. And I got to tell you, man, Ayler's gone. Keaton Mitchell gone. I mean, ECU just, I understand
hard
it,
rebuild.
but they fell off, man. It hurts, man. It hurts to see.
Yep. Yeah, it really does.
Yeah,
but I mean, SMU is a good football team too, so let's give them credit on that. But ECU has definitely fallen off. Let's see how quickly they can rebuild this back up.
Yeah, SMU, look, they're led by Preston Stone. He had 3 TD passes in this game. Couple that with an interception return on defense by Jonathan Gill. And, I mean, look, SMU, like you said, they're a good team, but this was the win they needed to get. They're 4-2 now, and they can start making some strides. Again, 2 more wins, they can also get into bowl eligibility.
Yeah, and this is a team that, I mean, remember, they're looking to get, or they're going into the ACC with you guys next year, if I'm not mistaken. So this is a team that's starting to fire on all cylinders and gain momentum heading into a new conference next year.
Right. Oh, buddy. Oh, we got some people in the comments. We're going to get to it real quick, recapping these games for the week. And probably until last night, probably one of the better games, if not the best game of this week. A game that means a lot to me and my fiance and her family. West Virginia almost gets it done, but it takes a miracle from their old coach in Houston to get it done. 41-39. Alex, the last minute or so of this game, man, I mean, it'll make anybody just on the edge of your seat, hold your breath. What a game. What a way to end the game.
Yeah, well, I mean, you look at just when West Virginia scored with 12 seconds left on a 50-yard pass.
Yep.
That was just like, yep, we're done. Like, wrap it up. We'll see you next week. And then Houston goes down with their own, 49-yard pass. And it gets deflected. The receiver catches it in the end zone. Game over to win by 2 points. That is wild.
Come on, man.
Crazy finish. One of the crazier finishes we've seen in a while. Yeah. That's why we say keep an eye on college football even during the week, because you get games like this, phenomenal finish, and a very entertaining game. I mean, 41-39. You got a lot of scoring happening. That was a great game.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Absolutely. And look, a lot of people didn't realize West Virginia coming into this game only had 1 loss. They were 4-1 coming into this and weren't able to get it done. I mean, some heroics by Houston and good for them to get that done on the last play, like you said. But, hey, look, I played DB, man. They put me in at DB. The one thing they say on any pass, much less a Hail Mary, bat it down. Bat it down. Hit it down. Don't tip it in the air because the wide receivers know the tip drill. Bat that thing down, man. Oh,
and try, if you can, to bat it straight down. Because if you remember, there was that Jacksonville and Houston game, Jacksonville-Houston game back in 09, 2010, where they batted it kind of forward, like on a 45-degree angle. The guy catches it, rolls into the end zone. Bat that straight down. Don't let anyone touch that.
Exactly. Oh, man. Hey, right here, bro, the irony of the coach they fired because they gaslight everybody to say he wasn't good, beat the guy they said was a better coach. Absolutely. Dana Holgerson. Holgerson used to coach over at West Virginia. They let him go. He had a resurgence at Houston. If you've watched Houston over the last couple of years, we can see who was the better coach. But I'm glad this game happened. And, hey, this was a fluke ending, but at the same time, if there's time on the clock, game's not over.
Absolutely.
So, all right, now back to Friday. Fresno, after getting a surprising loss last week, they get back on track, beating Utah State 37-32. Malik Sherrod had 129 rushing yards on 3 touchdowns in the victory. Man, hey, Fresno, they had the one hiccup against a good team, but they're still only 1-loss team.
Yeah, that's a very good football team. And I mean, if you could tell me that your running back is going to score a touchdown every 8 carries, that's wild. 3 touchdowns, 24 carries. And then Fife, the quarterback, almost 300 yards and another touchdown to go with that. It's a great performance by Fresno State.
Absolutely. And it's something they needed, man. We know a week ago after they took the L to Wyoming, albeit Wyoming a very solid team. We saw how they went toe-to-toe with Texas.
And that's their only loss, if I'm not mistaken.
Exactly. So it wasn't a bad loss. It was a hard-fought game by 2 really good teams the week before, but still, you have high hopes. You start undefeated. This is a game that you need to win, and it was closer. You saw the score was only a 5-point ball game, but glad they got it done, man. Glad they got it done. But look, we know why a lot of you have come, and we're going to bring this up. Misadora mentioned it. The problem in Boulder is they can't handle the hype. They aren't mature enough. Give it a year. Woo!
He's not wrong. Did you hear Dion last night in the press conference?
No. What did he say?
He's starting to question how much those guys really love the game.
Ooh.
He's calling them out in press conferences now. So, I mean, you get up 29-0, you're feeling yourself a little too much. I mean, we've been saying this kind of stuff all year that they're kind of feeling themselves a little too much. I mean, for me, I know after the Arizona State game where you should whoop Arizona State, and Shadur's over there like flexing and celebrating in front of the ASU student section. I was like, do we really need to do that kind of stuff?
Looking at his watch and all this nonsense.
I was like, you would have thought after that Oregon loss, they would have been humbled a little bit. But it's, that was a tough one.
It's almost like Washington in reverse. It's almost like the Washington Commanders in reverse with those 2 games. Because we had the USC game with Philly where we're like, oh, toe-to-toe, we could have came back and won that game. And then the complete drop-off the week after that with Chicago. But for Colorado, it was in reverse because they got crushed. And then all of a sudden, they get this game where they almost beat USC, what everybody's talking about. And then it's like they got gassed up again. Now all of a sudden, we're big and bad. And then because you and I think it's safe to say you and I both were like, this is one of the games that they're going to win. And in the first half, we were right.
Yeah, I threw the game on last night, fully expecting Colorado to win. And I was like, well, there's not much else to do. I'll throw the game on. I was like, it's not really worth watching. They'll win. It is what it is. And then it went south quick.
It's like the Falcons' blood is strong in the Sanders. Now, I will say something that we're going to dive into this one a little bit more because there's a lot of implications going forward in the Pac-12 season. But I will say something. I saw something on IG today that I thought was right. We're looking at wins and losses in the game, and we're looking at how these guys. Is he going to beat this team? Is he going to beat that team? Deion Sanders is coaching not one son, but 2 sons in major collegiate football, going toe-to-toe with most of these teams, some of the better talent in the country. I'm going to take my hat off to that, man, because that's something that I hope we're looking at, and we're not overlooking because of all this stuff. You're either on the hype train or you're on the other guy saying, look at him, look what he did wrong. You know what I mean? Don't miss that, people.
Yeah, that's something that's extremely impressive. And I mean, he's not only coaching his sons, but he's loyal to guys he brings in. I mean, you look at Travis Hunter, got him to come to Jackson State, decommit from FSU, go to Jackson State, and then he's going to Colorado. I mean, I get he was the number 1 recruit in the country that year, but he could have just as easily said, like, I'm going.
Right. Very true.
And
Very true.
Brings him along with him. And, I mean, you look at Shador as well. He's more than likely staying after this season, in part because of Dion and Travis. So, it's a core group of guys that are all loyal to each other, which is good to see. They just got to figure out a lot of issues they still have.
Oh, absolutely. But listen, and even still, the Buffaloes have tripled. Absolutely. Absolutely, and that's well said. But look, I'd be remiss if I did not speak about the other side to this, because Daniels had himself a day balling out. But look, on 19 targets, Alec Ayo Manor, Ayo Manor, how's his last name?
Ayo Manor, yeah.
Ayo Manor, 13 receptions, almost 300 receiving yards, 3 TDs, 22.6 average per reception. I mean, we just talked about Fafita. We just talked about these guys having these days that nobody's expecting and came out of the blue. And you see a game like this, and with this guy, hey, shout out to him, man. He gets big.
I gotta shout him out because he's from my neck of the woods. He's a Canadian boy. He's an Alberta boy. He's grew up about 5 hours from where I'm at. I didn't even know that, and then I was just like watching the game yesterday, and then they shot out Medicine Hat, Alberta, and I was like, oh man, he's like. So I went and looked it up. Yeah, he's an Alberta kid. So went off on arguably one of Stanford's brightest stages of the year, and had himself a day. Being covered late in the game by Travis Hunter and still catching the ball over top of him. I don't know if you saw that clip.
Yes.
Mock Travis Hunter. Yeah. Phenomenal game by Stanford. And let's see if this kind of gets the ball rolling for them.
Oh, yeah. And look, at the end of the day, on the other side to this, we know that Colorado was not up there like a Georgia or a Michigan as far as how people revered them. But but their hype was with how much hype people had put on them. So what's happening, what we're seeing now is you're getting everybody's best shot as if you are the number one team in the land. You know what I mean? And you got all these other teams coming at you. You've seen what happened here. Bo Nix had himself a day. Caleb had himself a day. I mean, and some of these guys are expecting, but this guy right here, it's like, woo, okay, all right, give what you got.
I actually thought of this, Ben. That's good.
Yep.
That was perfect. My brother also thought it was the Michigan-Ohio State comparison. Because, I mean, first off, you got the blue and yellow, the red and white.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Our academic standards are so much higher than theirs are. They out-recruit us. So he was like, it's that to a T. I was like, yeah, okay, like I guess you're kind of right. But I love that Stanford-Colorado comp as well. That's good.
Oh, I can dig it. I can absolutely dig it. Now, look, I see Misador here.
Yeah.
Of course. It's, hey, they got an interesting one tomorrow.
Yeah, he's talking double as that Bucks fan. And then
come on now. Look, we have got to move on, and we're going to go more into this. We're going to talk our college football storylines. And look, we're staying right here. We see you guys in the comments. We know this is a big thing. At the end of the day, it was 29-0. I told Alex, I went to bed looking at the score and saying, all right, well, they got this one. This is what we expected. They blow the lead, lose in double overtime, 46-43. Look, Will sent us this morning the remaining schedule. What is it? Washington State, Oregon State, Arizona. Was it Washington?
Next week, they go to UCLA. Then they they're on the bye. Then 2 weeks from now, they go to UCLA. Then they host Oregon State. Then they host Arizona. Then they go to Washington State and go to Utah. Oof. That is a tough finish. And you gotta get 2 wins in that to get bowl eligible. Now, mind you, they do take, if there's not enough 6-win teams, they'll take some 5-win teams. Colorado would absolutely be one of those 5-win teams with how much hype and everything they get. So realistically, you got to win at least 1. To win 2 of those is a tough ask, though. That is very tough.
If you're looking at that schedule, realistically, number 1, can it be done? And number 2, who are the teams that you think they can beat going forward?
Is it possible? Yes. If I had to pick 2, at home versus Arizona would be the clear one. Yeah. Out of those 5, that's the one I would feel most confident in. The other one, there's really only one option for me. And it's if you can catch Dante Moore having a bad game in 2 weeks.
Very true.
And if you can get to him, make him look like a true freshman quarterback, you might be able to steal that game. But that is still a tough ask. Going to LA to play them at the Rose Bowl, that is a tough ask.
And where they're playing is the reason why I'm leaning against that one. And also a person I'm going to talk about a little bit later. But my two, I definitely think it's possible. Arizona, yes, because they're also as young. But my other one is Oregon State because it's at home. Because that one's in Boulder, Colorado. And I kind of feel like with maybe the play styles, if they can get that ball up in the air and get a nice little lead early, well, after this game, we know no lead is safe. But if they could still do what they did in the first half and keep it going, that's when I think they can sneak out of there. But they're going to need to get one of these other victories. And at the same time, let's be clear, we're not saying that it's a lock that they beat Arizona.
Oh, God, no.
All right?
Not even remotely. If you get Fafita playing like you did against USC, they might blow Colorado out. Also, mind you, if we get that version of Fafita, that versus Shedeur Sanders, fireworks. Whatever the over is for that, hit it.
Yes.
Wow.
And then watch it be 16-13. Like,
oh my God.
A defensive battle.
8 turnover, 8 interceptions between the two of them. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see it. Ben said, I guarantee you the NCAA will take Colorado if they have only 5 wins. NCAA knows how much viewership, and they will get the Buffaloes in the bowl game. They won't have the money on the table. Absolutely. I agree.
Absolutely.
I absolutely agree. I believe they're going to bring them in and do that. So, yeah, going forward, this – I think Anthony made the point of that will wrap this whole thing up. They won 1 game last year. Mm-hmm. He has tripled the output of anything that they did last year, stats-wise, winning-wise, and just overall respectability for that university. And you know what I mean? Yeah. And brought some respect to the Pac-12. So can we say that this, if nothing else, obviously if they lose out, it's going to be hard to say this, but let's say they get 1 or even 2 more wins. Can we say the successful season? Even at this point, can we say that?
I mean, to me, it's already a successful season for Colorado. Like you said, they were 1-11 last year.
Yes. Yeah.
Success is just improving on what you had the year before, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So this is already a major success for them. Now, based on the expectations everyone put out for them before, I mean, my expectation was fighting for bowl eligibility. So they're right where I expected them to be. So yeah, to me, I think this season, almost regardless of how it ends, is a success for them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, look, just the simple fact that we're talking about them as opposed to last year, we were saying, Colorado State, let's see who's going to be the first team to actually get a win this year.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's huge. He's brought some credibility to that place. And for like him or hate him, what Deion is doing over at Colorado with those players, with just the PR and the hype and all that stuff, you got to respect that. You absolutely do.
Well, and just think of not only what he's doing for Colorado, but doing for the sport of college football in general.
Yes.
He's not only bringing new fans to Colorado, but he's bringing people that know Deion Sanders that didn't watch college football before to the sport. I mean, those stadiums are packed every week. He's on national television every week. I mean, he's been on noon kickoff for Fox, 3-4 times already. You had College Game Day there. Like he is doing something special for Colorado, but special for college football as a whole.
Oh yeah. See what they're saying in the comments. Handy, a resounding yes. Almost nobody had CU doing much better, even with Deion as coach. How are these guys going to gel with all the transfers, etc.? So yes. Love that.
This is very true, this comment.
A little bit. Oh, yeah. It's head in a hand. Huh. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. The players it is. Yeah. You
could tell from that press conference last night, that is one of his focuses going forward.
Well, so that's something that you mentioned to me earlier, and I think that's something I think we should discuss a little bit. For going into the first game, the first 2-3 games, it's like, yeah, he's got the bravado and he's doing this, and he's like, yeah, that's right, these guys are doing it. Like he was defending that, and now it's kind of like, now it's I get you. You start losing a couple games, you get called out, but at the same time, do we need to say, Dion, they're following your lead, man?
To me, there's a difference in the two scenarios. Like when you were doing all the shenanigans and everything at the beginning of the season, you were playing good football. So, okay, that comes with it. It is what it is. But when you're choking 29-point leads and when you're getting your, what's handed to you, and then you're still acting like this, that's where I feel like Dion's in the right to say, okay, no, like, let's rein this in. Let's focus on actual football. Mm-hmm. And, like, to me, he's absolutely in the right for saying what he's saying now and going after the players, because the players need to understand that, yeah, all the hype and everything you're doing is good for you, but you got to show up and play on Friday, Saturday, Thursday, whatever day you're playing to play that game.
Right. And I think Dion has said at certain points, he's saying, I talk and do all that stuff because they know who I am. They know what I've done. You have to create that. You can't live off me. You have to create that for yourself. So, yeah. But I got to put this as hilarious.
Yeah,
you're absolutely right,
so
man. Dion and Taylor Swift. Who would have thought that in September, man? Not me.
That's wild.
Oh, man. Colin's here. What up, Colin?
What's up, Colin?
Doing it. Oh, yeah, Colorado will be bowl eligible. That toilet bowl. This guy, you better pay attention today. All right. Now, I know we put in that work on Syracuse, but you guys let Boston College hang around. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, I love the banter.
Oh, yeah. Got to bring that up. Got to defend my Michigan guy since my Michigan State has left the building. So.
Ooh.
We're gonna go ahead and move on. We're gonna talk about these games that are going on today, but real quick before we do, Alex, we know this is the game of the week. Washington, Oregon, number 7 versus number 8. But the big thing about this, at least 32 NFL scouts will attend this game. We have not been quiet about all of the talent on both sides of the ball for both teams. And a lot of these guys will be, all in the draft list and the prospect list and all that stuff coming forward. What are your thoughts about this? Are we seeing a 50-49 type thing where everybody's getting attention, or, who's going to shine? What are we going to see, man?
Man, I don't know what to think about, like, score-wise, how this game's going to go, because they both got phenomenal offenses, really good quarterbacks, really good running games, like, really good receivers, weapons, offensive lines are playing well, but they've also got phenomenal defenses. So, and you talked about, the headline there is the scouts that'll be in attendance. Bo Nix, Michael Penix, Bucky Irving, Troy Franklin, Rome Odunze, Jalen McMillan, Braylon Trice. Like, there's so many guys. And the majority of those guys will probably be drafted before the middle of round 3. Like, that's just how good these programs are. Both coaches are firing on all cylinders here. DeBoer for Washington and Dan Lanning for Oregon. But, to me, I feel like these teams honestly might be better than 7 and 8 in the rankings.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why I hate that we only have 4 teams in the playoff, because one of these teams is getting screwed by this game. But this is that game where both of them are going to have to throw the kitchen sink at it, because your season is on the line here.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. What is the over set at? I'm going to find that here.
Check that. Yeah, this is one of those, and I want people to understand 67. 67. Whew.
Yep. And they got Washington by 3 on the spread.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'd bet
Okay,
the over, absolutely.
I definitely bet the over. Look, we've talked about QB duels this year. Sam Hartman and Caleb Williams are playing tonight. Drake May, a couple weeks ago, Spencer Rattler in the opening game. Watch out for this one. Bo Nix, Michael Penix, both of them are just rising up that draft board, that QB list. And honestly, both of them, I mean, one of them, if not both of them, could honestly do a lot for their draft stock in this game.
Yeah, and I feel like the winner for this, at this point, is it safe to say they're the front runner for the Heisman?
Yeah.
Based on like Caleb, I mean, he's won, but he hasn't looked great necessarily in these games.
Yeah.
I mean, Brock Bowers has looked phenomenal. I've heard a lot of hype about JJ, but the knock on him is he hasn't had to play a full game yet. So I knock him down a bit because of that. To me, I think whoever wins this game is the front runner for the Heisman going into week 8.
Oh, I like that. I like that. And you wait, Misador. What?
he
you know the name. Let me flex on you right here. Let me flex on you. You see what it is. And then look, but I got to go with this comment. Where is it? Oh, where's the one that he just Alex just said? I will be very quiet.
Man.
After seeing what Georgia Tech was able to kind of do because of Cristobal's decision, you know that they're going to be firing on all cylinders today. We had a game against Syracuse last week, and Misador, no, the Orange will not be crushed today, unless it's y'all. All right, but this is going to be a big one for us. This is definitely going to be a big one for us. He said, "Wait a minute, it just hit me. 32 Scott. Yes. I mean, because
I want to.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, outside of quarterbacks, it's not. I mean, the quarterbacks are the tip of the iceberg. You got wide receivers, you got linemen, defense and offense, you got corners, you got prime time NFL talent on both sides of this ball. Yeah, everybody's going to be there to watch this one.
Yeah, and for me, we see the 32 scouts, but I kind of want to see the list of who's going to be there. Like, are we talking just area scouts? Is it head scouts? Is it general managers? Like, who's showing up to these games? That's what I want to see.
Oh yeah, and hopefully it's a Washington person I mean Commanders, because we need help. We need help. See if they got some linebackers out there. All right, we need something.
I'm gonna say you need some help. Any team that needs help, that's a good place to go watch tonight. Lot of future NFL talent is stepping on that field tonight.
Oh, yeah. And we are only 2 weeks away from talking NC basketball. Misador, me, you, I know Alex is in, Ben Cornett on the 2-3 Ben zone. We might need to get together and get down on that, man, because, hey, 2 years removed from being a rolled ankle away from a natty, and then last year to have the fall off that NC had, we're ready. We are ready. Look, wait, Sean, weren't you a little enthusiastic about Chris Paul taking over the U? Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. Look, just because he's playing us, right? Just because he's playing us, don't mean I'm downplaying him. He's still great. That was a bonehead decision last week.
Yeah.
But let's remember how many losses do they have this year? You know what I mean? And I get it that they lost to GT, but let's chill on GT for a second, because Georgia Tech beat us last year when they had just lost their coach. Georgia Tech look, you guys might roll on them. We'll see, but. You know, they're not dead in the water, you know.
No, not at all.
But with that being said, it was an awful decision by Mario Cristobal not to take the knee.
Like I said last week, or on Tuesday, Karma's a you know what. It bit them to run that ball.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But look, we're going to move on. The games are starting in about 35 minutes. College football week 7. The Saturday preview is here. We're going to hit you with some of our games to watch for. Alex, since all these people in the comments want to talk about it, I'm going to start with it. North Carolina, Miami. This is a game that went to the wire a year ago, and I'm fully expecting it to do the same this year, man. Drake May, we know what he can do, and we know how good he is. He got that get-right game a week ago where, like I told you, I didn't have to sweat in the fourth quarter. I could relax. We got the backups in. That was great. But this is going to be a major ACC battle that we need to come out on top with. If we have any thought of ACC championship and moving farther down the line.
Another thing to look at there is, I mean, Miami, while like they're embarrassed after that game.
Oh yeah.
So they more than likely they're coming out guns ablaze in this game. So UNC is gonna have to hold on. This is gonna be a tough game, a physical game, going back and forth. I do expect you guys to come out on top, but this is a game to keep an eye on. Absolutely, it'll be a fun one.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. So this is one I definitely want us to see. Shout out to Alec in the move, live from the Sunshine State. Our guy. I sent you the link if you want to come talk about your team. I know you're a little nervous, but definitely get in there. Ben, UCLA, Oregon State. Yes. Alex, we've talked about this, and UCLA obviously getting the upset a week ago. Man, this could be another one of these Pac-12 nail biters, man. What you think?
I think, this is a massive game. And I was telling you before the show about this, Sean. If UCLA can come out on top today, I would put money on it. They will be in the Pac-12 championship game with a chance to go to the playoff.
Woo!
Bookmark this, 40, 46, 45, we'll say. But with one loss currently.
The people are asking.
That make me crazy.
You knew they
were USC has to go through Oregon, Washington, all the big dogs in the Pac-12. This is UCLA's schedule the rest of the way. So if they can beat Oregon State, they go to Stanford, who we just saw play their biggest game of the year. Yep. They host Colorado. They go to Arizona. They host Arizona State. They go to USC. And they host Cal. So outside of that SC game, there's not really a tough matchup there.
Yeah, they're all winnable.
So UCLA, it's very realistic for them to be 11-1, playing the winner of this Oregon-Washington game tonight for the Pac-12 championship, December 1st or whatever it is. And that game will have a playoff spot on the line. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, I could see it. And look, you just mentioned UCLA or USC. Is this Colin or is this Eric? I gotta see, but he says I need the.
I think it's Eric.
That's what I'm thinking too. After reading it, UC analyst, pins and needles. I'm still in shell shock after how bad the offense has been the last 2 weeks. I look. You and I have been on record multiple times telling everybody that would listen, Sam Hartman is the guy. Sam Hartman is the guy. I still think he's going to be a premier pro quarterback, getting in the right system. I think he has all the tools. We know he's old enough to do the job. But Eric's absolutely right. These last couple of weeks, the Louisville game, having the shocker, Duke gave them everything they can handle. They had to win that with a remarkable drive late in the game. And then the Ohio State game, they lose it on the last play of the game. But USC's defense, we know is Swiss cheese. So it makes you this is going to be a big game, man. What do you think happens today?
I was going to say, to counter the Notre Dame stretch we just talked about, you survived a triple overtime game at home against Arizona with a quarterback making his second start. You survived Colorado after being up massive. You essentially survived Arizona State, only won by 2 touchdowns. This team is just sitting there waiting for somebody to take them, finally.
Yeah.
And I still feel Notre Dame is that team. Yeah. This is by far the best defense USC has played all season. And as weird as it is to say, the Notre Dame offense can't get any worse than what it's been the last couple weeks. It can't. You've got the running game of Audric Estime. Mind you, the O-line for Notre Dame versus the D-line for USC is the key matchup here. Because USC's got one of the best defensive lines for just straight pass rushing with just those 4 guys. They're better than anybody in the country right now.
Yeah.
So this is a game where Notre Dame's offensive line is going to have to hold down. I think they can do it. I think they can open up the lanes for Estime. It's not going to be a blowout by any means. This is like a one-score game, but I still see Notre Dame taking this game.
Yeah, and look, and I look, I think that it has to beg the question. We know Notre Dame is 5-2, right? And a lot of people, obviously, 2 losses. Not many teams in this country will even get that thought of still being in conversation for the CFP. But if Notre Dame could get a win, and maybe a convincing win today, Notre Dame has Clemson after that. You got Wake, you got Stanford. If they can win out, can we start to, put that vote in for them, even though they have the 2 losses? No.
When you've got Georgia, who's probably going to go undefeated, when you've got whoever wins the Big Ten East is probably it's undefeated or 1 loss. Those 2 are locks to get in.
Yeah.
I can't put Notre Dame in over a seemingly either undefeated or 1 loss Pac-12 champion, either seemingly undefeated or 1 loss Big 12 champion, or a more than likely undefeated or 1 loss ACC champion. Those 3 all get the nod over Notre Dame, and you notice what all 3 of them had in common? Well, either 0 or 1 losses, but conference championships.
Yep.
If Notre Dame wants to have a playoff bid and be able to lose a game, you got to join a conference, because that conference championship locks you in, especially when they do the 12-team playoff. They're still, which it's still crazy that they're sticking right now to the 5 conference champions. Because remember, the Pac-12 won't totally dissolve next year. You get 2 years to try and build the conference back up.
Yeah.
So as of now, next year, either Oregon State or Washington State is guaranteed a playoff spot. And then you'll get the Big Ten champion, Big 12 champion, SEC champion, ACC champion. And then there's 7 wild cards.
Yeah.
So Notre Dame will have a chance then with a loss or 2, but you can't get in with more than 1 loss, even with a conference championship, it seems nowadays. So
yeah,
Notre Dame is out in the playoff race.
Yep. As Ben said, no, because what's the key is Notre Dame is not a conference, exactly what you were just saying. And yep, confidence is super shook, even though I think we've got a great roster. Thanks for the hope, but no chance that we went out. Hey, we'll see.
To me, it's kind of another "does that make me crazy" kind of moment. Do we start to look at Freeman on the hot seat at Notre Dame?
That make me crazy.
I know it's only 2 losses currently, but like you said, you play SC, you play Clemson, you play some of these other good teams. Both these 2 losses, I pin on him.
Yeah.
I do. He was not. Sorry, Eric. I just saw him say, "Don't do that to me." But
we love you, man. Come on,
there's
buddy.
no way, as a coach, you can't realize 2 plays in a row that you have 10 guys on the field in that Ohio State game. There's no possible way. And then he makes too many coaching errors, in my opinion, for a school that still tries to live up to the Notre Dame expectations that were set years and years and years ago.
Yep.
You can't be making those mistakes.
Ooh.
Yeah. I mean,
I hate to say that, but yeah,
it's getting fairly similar.
Yeah,
He's got to say it.
Hey, at the end of the day, this guy not only has to win out, but like he's gonna have to take them to that spot next year. He's gonna have to put them in that position to be in the CFP conversation. I mean, undefeated type stuff. Because I think at the end of the day, like you guys have said, the fact that they are not in a conference is their biggest detriment, man. You can win all these games, but if you're not playing conference championship weekend where you get those extra eyes on you that lifts you up past, a 1-loss team or something like that, it's going to be hard.
And you got to go undefeated.
Oh, yeah. But look, hey, you know what we do? We bring our guys in. And, hey, from sunny Sunshine State of Florida, our guy, Alex Schaberg. What up, Alex?
You forgot to say the best state in the world.
Ah,
The best
the
number
best.
one state in the world.
Woo,
Ain't nothing
yo, hey,
better.
real quick, man. How was the move? I see you in the sunshine. I love it.
Oh, I feel like it's been a weight lifted off my shoulder leaving this sorry excuse as a DMV.
Wow, I feel you, brother. I
Wow.
feel you. I feel you.
Yeah, that no one should be no one in their right mind should ever get a house over there. That place is just miserable. I'm sorry.
There,
It's
there.
just it's once you leave and then you
You
go right
brought
back
him
home.
on for this.
I'm just saying, it's just like
Oh, so
it's like a
good.
breath of fresh air. Breath of fresh air.
Yes. Yes. Look, speaking about a breath of fresh air, your
I mean, it's
team
changed.
is ready to go. They're ready to go. You're playing against the good old Washington. Everybody's seeing. Did you freeze? Did he freeze?
Yeah, I think he froze.
I'm good now. Am
All right.
I good?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah,
You're
you're good
good.
now.
Yo,
It was the
you
Wi-Fi.
yeah. Is it that Florida Wi-Fi? Is that what it is?
No,
No.
it's the Wi-Fi disconnecting because I'm far away from the router.
Oh, okay. Yo, but hey, we talked about it. 32 scouts are going to be at your game, Oregon, Washington. Tell us. I know you don't like to talk about these, but what do you think's happening today, man?
I'm still going my gut. We're losing this game. I'm sorry,
Ooh.
Oregon fans. You don't want to hear that, but it's true. It's gonna be true to a T. It's gonna be 35-27 Washington.
Ooh.
So you're taking
I don't see.
Washington and the under.
Yeah, it's gonna be a defensive game
Wow.
because Oregon also. I don't care what it says. This is where we fold. You put us in a spotlight at a 3 o'clock game. Two ranked teams, conference battle. It never ends well for us. We're historically never good in these situations. I could be wrong. I could be eating my words later on, but
Uh-huh.
I don't know, man. I just don't see it yet. I don't see it.
Well, Alec, if I say quack quack, is that going to work in reverse? Does that mean you guys will win because I said that? Like, I mean,
No,
my football
it has
NFL
to be
team's
it.
Washington, so
It has to be intentional in the group chat, like when you first wake up. But you didn't do that, so it didn't work.
My bad, man.
It has to be fresh in the morning when you wipe the crust off your eyes, and then you say that message. That's the only way it has a chance, but I don't see it, man.
Oh.
Oh man,
Honestly, I'll give my team benefit of the doubt. They'll keep it close, but Washington will pull away in the fourth.
Okay.
I can't like. I'm not trying to doubt my team and like say that they're terrible. They're not terrible. It's just these situations we're historically not good at.
Yeah.
Never good at these situations.
Well, look, let me ask you about Bo Nix. Obviously, all the attention is going to be on him. I know he's not your guy, but can he show himself today?
Probably. I could see him throwing for like 330 and like 2 passing touchdowns.
Ooh,
I get behind that, yeah.
Like people take my opinion on this game and they say, "Oh, you're not a true fan." It's called being a fucking realist. If you've been a fan for the last if you've been a fan of Oregon for like the last 15 years, you know this is where we fold. We fold in the moments where people expect us in the bright lights to be like, okay, like is this team for real? And then they show everybody else in the world that we're not for real, and we're always going to be one step behind, which is I feel like it's a generational curse for this program every year. But I mean, if we lose, at least we lost to a eighth. I think they're ranked seventh.
Yeah, they're 7th or 8th, yeah.
I mean, even if we losing to a 7th ranked team, it's not gonna be the be all end all. It's just those games that we lose against like Arizona State that has like 2 wins or something like that that haunts me for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I remember 3 years ago. 3 years ago, I think we were like the top of the Pac-12, and we had a chance to go to the Pac-12 championship. And I was watching with my friend, and I was stressing. He was like, "Oh, you're only playing." It was like standing like good. He's like, "You're only standing for what? Like what's wrong?" I was like, "Don't say that." So I was gonna fire that game. I was like, "This is why I stress every game past October 10th."
It's an interesting date. October 10th. Is that anything in particular, or you just know after that it gets harder?
No, it's just the time of years, like when we fold it, because around like week 6 or 7.
I can
Yeah,
dig
week
it.
7, yep.
Yep. Yep. Well, look, hey, if we can, let's see if we still got a little audio. Ben brought up UCLA, Oregon State. You let us know a week ago. You said UCLA was a fraud. They got the upset victory over Washington State, but still, they might still be a fraud. What do you think? They got Oregon State today, man. You think they can get the dub?
Except for who? What side of the ball?
UCLA.
Yeah, UCLA versus Oregon State.
I'm not really high on UCLA, honestly. In my honest defense, luckily, if Anthony's watching this, I will not bring up your Georgia Bulldogs. I've come to terms without saying anything bad about them.
They're not losing today.
Side.
They're not losing for the second week in a row. Third week in a row.
They'll win by 40 today, for all I know.
It's gonna be a close one now.
Do that as you will, take it with a grain of salt. But with UCLA, I just don't see it with them yet. Like it's like a team where they have the pieces, they're just not doing anything with it. Yeah. And then you got Carson Steele, doesn't really do much with that. And then you got Dante Moore, which everybody tries to give him like flack, but at the same time, like each quarterback, like they're not gonna be like a right fit, like a great fit, like right away. So honestly, I just see UCLA losing today. They're not all the way there yet. Definitely not all the way there yet.
Oh yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, I do want you to watch one game today because there might be some miracles happening. I see some reverse psychology being played in here now that he's in his Florida weather. Down goes Georgia.
Yeah, the 2 weeks he said Georgia was going to lose, they won. Did you just curse Georgia to lose to Vanderbilt? I know.
If you say that, you know what, Sean? You can say it all you want. If you say it, you might go. But with me, if I say it, it's like the Georgia guys are listening to me. They say you forgot to play a little hard today.
Look, Alec. If it happens, Alec, I'm giving you all the credit. I'm telling you this right now. If and when it happens, I'm giving you all the credit. All right.
And then he has to pick every Georgia game the rest of the way, and I'm betting the opposite.
Yep.
Oh no.
Yo, hey, and we're still. Hey, I'm still in hopes that we're gonna get to a segment one of these days that says Alec doesn't bet anymore. But if he did, this is who he would pick. I'm telling you, it's gonna be a big one, man.
I mean, he told you Washington and the under and the spread.
There it is. Look, yeah, I think our guy was having technical issues. Thank you so much for being able to get in here. Real quick, we're going to get out of here. But before we do, let's talk about it. Players to watch for today. I'll start real quick. He had talked about Carson Steele of UCLA, 413 yards and 2 TDs, has almost a 6-yard average running the ball. We talked about that game against Oregon State. It's going to be a game that, in my opinion, is going to be one in the trenches. We know about the quarterbacks for both teams, but I think, especially Oregon State, they run the ball a lot. So I think if Carson Steele can get going, and if they can give him 30 carries like they gave him a week ago, watch out for him going forward in this one. I look for him to have a fairly good game today. Who is one of your players to watch for?
So I'm sticking with the same game, but I'm changing the player that I told you earlier in the day. I was going to go Bo Nix in this Oregon-Washington game for the simple idea of he's got to match Michael Penix.
Yeah.
But we've talked about it multiple times. How do you stop an elite offense? You keep them off the field. My player to watch for in this game, Bucky Irving. If he can control the clock, if they can just handle the ball, pound it down their throat, and run the ball into the end zone and match those scores, Bucky Irving's the guy to watch for today.
Oh, I like that. And my second players to watch for, It's a 2-for-1 on this one. We talked about a guy a week ago that was quarterbacking as a freshman for Arizona, going toe-to-toe with Caleb Williams in USC, put up over 300 yards and 5 TDs in that freshman debut. Well, he's going up against him in Arizona are playing Washington State. I've covered Ward all year, 1,500 yards, almost 1,600, honestly, 14 TDs, and only those 2 interceptions from last week in that loss. This one is, I think, one of the very underrated QB duels. I want to see if Fafita can keep that movement, that momentum going. And Ward, look, we know, like Alex said a week ago, we didn't expect Washington State to do all this. So all the success they're having is solely on his back. He's carrying that team. So I want to see this duel. I want to see if they can go back and forth. And who is your last player to watch for?
Well, I'm looking at you. My guy for this game, or this other player to watch for, Spencer Rattler. They haven't necessarily jumped out to the start we expected them to. I mean, we both picked North Carolina to win, and we thought Georgia would win as well. But we had also both thought that Tennessee would lose to South Carolina. At least I did.
Yes, I did too.
So South Carolina's got to get the ball rolling again. They got to get back on track. They've got a great chance today against a good Florida team. He's got to show that he can outplay someone like Graham Mertz. I have full faith in Rattler the way he's been playing, and this is the game they bounce back, in my opinion.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Hey, watch that. Shout out to our guy, Will Kramer, who will be at that game. South Carolina playing at home against Florida. So I know he's super hyped about that. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to almost get out of here, but you know what we do when the game is on the line and we need more than one, we go for 2. Realized that I brought you in, and that's Michael Penix Jr. on that clip. So I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Sean.
Alec.
You know what? Actually, you know what?
Quack, baby.
Please
Quack.
say that, because every time you say that, it works in my favor. So please.
I want you to win. I'm not rooting against you. I want you guys to win.
Yeah,
man.
we're rooting for you today.
This game's gonna give me freaking anxiety out the fucking roof.
Yo,
all right, for everybody.
Alec.
I'm telling you, like, once that game starts, everything do not disturb. I'm playing everything you did. I'm not looking at no group chats, nothing. I'm be on anxiety.
Alec,
like no other.
Alec, I will pay you if you can please just record yourself in certain moments of this game and send it to us, because I have to see how because I know you, man. I know how passionate you are, man.
Just have a live stream going. Just set it up.
Yeah. Do it on your Twitch, man. I'll watch.
You don't got to interact with it. Just have it there. Watch the game.
Oh, I bet y'all would have a ball with that one.
Oh, I would get a kick out of that.
I
ain't even denying that.
But look, hey, Alec, we're about to get out of here. My guy, you you're home. You're in Florida. You look good. The sunshine is behind you. What's your going for 2 today, man?
Ooh. You're going to give me a second. I'll let Alex go first.
That works. My guy.
All right.
Salute more.
So we talked about how we're getting into it. We're every game every day till the middle of November here. Obviously, we talked about how massive this week is in college football. This kind of works toward Alec as well. Don't let it stress you out too much. Remember, it's a game. Remember, we're all fans. Just sit back, enjoy, have a good time watching some great football this weekend.
Yes.
Too late for that, Alex. I had nightmares last night, so.
See, I'm saying that today because tomorrow's the Lions-Bucks game. So,
at least when I go to that game, I'll be in the end zone, probably drunk off my mind. So, even if you guys beat us, I don't care.
I'm just hoping for a good game with that, honestly.
Yeah, I ain't
It's all
trying.
those
I ain't
injuries.
trying to sit in the end zone looking at a blowout game. No, thank you.
I don't know. I've done it. I've gone to Ford Field. I know you're not going there, but I went to Ford Field last year and watched a 22-0 blowout in that game. I had Lions fans
Yeah.
patting me on the back saying, "It's okay, man. It's okay. We understand." I was like, "Oh God." Yo, real quick, my going for two. It was one of our segments that we were gonna bring up a little bit earlier,
Yep.
but I didn't. University of Tennessee last week had its first ever call by the Spanish speaking announcers. So they called it, they're reaching that community. My going for two is everybody loves football. It don't matter if you look like me, if you look like these guys. It don't matter if you're in the States, if you're in Canada. It don't matter if you're in Mexico. We've seen in the NFL all of these different teams going overseas and going different places to play. A lot of people love this game, and I love that we're opening up and taking it to the world, taking it to more people. Because we know we get excited about this stuff, but so do they. And hey, I love it. I need more Tar Heel fans, baby. Come on. You want that blue? Let's go. Let's go.
Mhm.
All right. Alec, what you got, man?
Pray for us, Oregon fans. We're gonna need it.
Got you.
I like
I got you, my guy.
all my friends that are Oregon fans that I know, they are in the same stress as me. UW week is never the best one. At UW
Yeah.
is always the worst one for us. So
I want to throw this out there. He was talking about how weird it was to have both his teams on the bye last week. He goes from not having any football to worry about to two very good games. Yeah.
Right. Back to back. That's how it happens.
Yeah,
it's
And
very
look,
stressful.
Alec, at the very least, at least you didn't give up 40 points to the winless Bears. Oh God. I still gotta live with that for another 7 days because we don't even play them tomorrow.
It could be
8 days.
worse.
Yeah.
You could be a Colorado fan up 29-0 and lose.
Woo! On that note,
Yeah.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are so glad you came and joined us on this Saturday morning, live from Virginia, my state. I still love it. Canada, Alberta, Canada.
Yep.
Yeah, and Florida. What part of Florida are you at? You at Jacksonville?
Davenport.
Oh, Davenport. Okay. Davenport, Florida. I like that. So, hey, we're here. College football is still going. Tune into these games. The games in less than 10 minutes will be starting. Honestly, if you can, check on our guy, Alec, because it looks like he might be a little stressed. Yeah, I know the feeling, brother. I know the feeling.
Even though he's not going to be answering, I'm still going to be poking in the messenger.
Oh, yeah. Alex, you with us? You still here?
It's going to be marked as unread until after the game.
That's right.
It'll still be there for you after. It's all good.
Let's go. Hey, for my guy Alex Loosemore, Alex Schomburg, your boy Sean Spencer, we'll see y'all next time. Stay up, watch college football, man, and enjoy your day.